All righty. Welcome, everybody. I am so happy you're here. So feel free to say hello in the chat, write down where you're watching from, um, as I share the details of how the next 5 days will go. We will be meeting on Zoom for the next 5 days. We will be together today through Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. On Friday, we will be meeting at 12:30 Eastern, and I do have a special offer for Friday at 11:30. If you would like to hop on this, and we'll be talking about this more as the days go on, but I do have a VIP offer for $47. We are going to be doing a 1 hour pain-free EFT group session. This will be a time for you guys to share exactly what's going on with you, and we'll be doing some tapping to clear it. So do make sure that you're muted. Let's see, Debbie, are you able to mute yourself? Yeah, great. And so for today, the information I will be sharing with you has the potential to change your life and create mind-blowing results and unexpected shifts in your life. So really make time to schedule the time to be present here. Schedule the time if you have to watch the replay, to schedule that in at a time that's convenient for you. And I promise you that you will want to hear this information. The information I'm sharing with you has helped me get out of pain, and it's now helping my clients and thousands of clients get out of pain and heal from pain and illness, fibromyalgia, even all the way to cancer. This is the foundational tools you need in order for you to heal from anything so that you can finally live a life focusing on something other than your pain. Like maybe go on that vacation that you've always wanted to go on. And I would love to hear, post in the comments, what would you like to do when you are pain-free and when you have all the money that you desire? Like, what would you like to do? The more you put it out there and make it real, we can start manifesting it. So again, each day I will be here to answer any questions you may have and to talk about what's coming up for you. And during this challenge, please give yourself permission again to be present. And I have some suggestions for you because each day will build on each other. Also, for those of you that participate and have your camera on during the sessions, I will be giving away a free mini session from me. So the more you participate, there is also a group chat, Facebook Messenger chat. So make sure you're in that. If you're not, let me know and I'll be sure to add you. Some of the information we talk about you may have heard before. Please have a beginner's mind and be open to learning something new so that you can get the result you desire. Also, if things come up, I'm here to support you. Please share, please ask for help and support because healing is a journey and it's not always an upward, easy journey. I know many of you here have been through all kinds of things, and healing can be messy. It's not always a wonderful white picket fence all the way to the top journey. So reach out. This is a community for us to share. It's a safe space for you, all of us, to come together and just share what needs to be shared so that you can move to the next level. And so you're in the right place if you're living with physical pain, illness, exhaustion, overwhelm, not having the deep connections you desire, and even help in receiving more cash flow that you desire. Because money itself is energy and physical pain is energy. So once you start healing one, everything else starts showing up. So you are in the right place if you have any of these concerns. All right, so let's get started. Let's see first what's in the chat. Yeah, so Debbie's from Canada and going on trips around the world. Totally, I'm all up for that. All right, so clearly if you're sitting here, you're here for a reason, right? I'm going to ask you a really dumb question. Anybody here have physical pain? I feel like we know the answer. You're experiencing chronic pain. And I know this is a dumb answer, but I got to ask it. How many here are experiencing chronic pain? Put it in the chat. Raise your hand. Are you living with physical pain? And if you're living with physical pain, put a 1 in the chat if you've been in pain for less than a year or 1 year. Put a 2 in the chat if you've been in pain for more than 1 year. And put a 3 in the chat if you've been in pain for 5, 7, 10 years. It's crazy, right? It's crazy how long people have been in pain. And I am spending this week with you because I really know for a fact that you don't need to live with pain anymore. And I'm really standing up for everybody in this community, for your friends and family, and for the thousands of other people that are in pain that we don't know, who have been getting surgery after surgery and everything else, and they're still living in pain. And my commitment to you today is that I'm here to share some things with you so that you can know and you can make a choice to do something different, to become pain-free. And you can start doing it all today. So hopefully you're all with me and we're all going to stand together because this is crazy that so many people are in pain, right? And I know you're busy. I know we all have a gazillion things on our to-do list. You don't even have time to be here. And that's why I really want to commend you for being here. But I would really like to see you feel better and be able to experience more joy and peace and go on those fabulous, amazing, fun, adventurous activities. And maybe, just maybe, even take less medication or whatever it is that you want so that you're no longer having to pay pharmaceutical companies to mask your pain. I know, I said it, and it's out there. But really, are we all in this together to choose something different for you, right? And put some of that money back in your pocket as you every day get healthier and healthier, okay? So for those who are new to me, I'm Jacqueline Kane, a low back pain specialist, and I empower my clients to do 3 things: liberate themselves from their past, live powerfully in the present moment, and love the life they get to create now. And growing up, I never imagined how much physical and emotional pain would become part of my daily existence. When my children were young, I struggled with pain, low back pain, that made every aspect of life challenging. Between caring for the kids, managing our home, working full time, I was a complete zombie. I was barely keeping my head above water. And it's really my mission to help even more moms to not do that because it's just not a way to live. And at my lowest point, when I wondered how much worse the pain could possibly get, something unexpected happened. My email began filling up with messages from coaches and mentors, all discussing energy and how it gets stored in the body. And the timing, of course, was magical. And I love how the universe just does that. Whether you believe in universe, God, whatever, whoever it is you believe in, but we really are supported. And so at a time when I was desperate for relief, I signed up for so many programs. And some of us even know some of those amazing coaches, right, that are unfortunately no longer with us. And they made a huge change in my life. And all those negative emotions that were physically stored in my body and I had no idea they were even there. And even worse, I didn't realize this negativity was seeping into my conversations and relationships through an attitude I was completely unaware of projecting. You know, the tone. Have you ever been told you have a tone? I was told I have a tone. Um, because I didn't even know I had a tone, right? I just thought I was being me, but I listened and I did the healing work and realized that these energy releasing techniques helped me finally release all that stagnant emotional energy. And it felt incredibly liberating. And this release allowed me to become someone different, someone I would never knew. I finally became myself. And I've continued to do the work to heal all these parts of me so that I can finally be just me. And I'm speaking up more for myself, for humanity, in ways that I've never done before. And I think the one thing is that in my past, when I was a people pleaser, I thought if I stayed quiet, if I was just the good little girl, then I would be loved. Then I would get everything I desired. And it didn't work. But now that I've released all the resentment and all of that, and I truly am speaking up my way, it's amazing how easy my life is and how fun it gets to be. So that's my intention for you. So can any of you relate to my story? And if anybody wants to come unmute, off of mute and share, feel free. You can just unmute yourself. And if not, we will continue, right? Because that's what we're here to do.
So I'd like to say,
Yeah.
it's not my first rodeo here. And but I appreciate that you said, because you said first, like I did the work and now I don't have pain. And then later you said I continue to do the work, because I think there's so many layers of healing. And for me, I feel like I've let go of some, but recently I have gained new clarity or new insights about about things, about just like issues.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's why I'm here, is because I feel like I'm at a new level of, like, I peeled that back another layer, and I need to heal that next inner layer that's
Right.
still holding on to the pain.
Yeah. Exactly. Debbie, did you want to say something or anybody else?
Well, I just noticed, sorry, I just noticed that I have done some of your work and uh, another spiritual friend
Sunshine.
classes here in Canada. I overcome depression. I'm still having anxiety with things that are going on in my life, and I feel pain every single day. But watching my father be the strongest man I've known for 3 years, suffering with cancer, it makes me feel that no matter how much pain I feel on a daily basis, he never stopped, and he never stopped giving up. Even though he was in pain, he showed me that anybody has the strength to believe in themselves and do what they need to be strong every day dealing with that pain. But I thank you so much for your classes here to get rid of this pain that I've experienced for years. And I've also noticed that I have a voice now, and I used to be quiet like you and always shutting down to please people. And now I'm like, I have a voice and I'm going to use it. I have
Good.
been speaking out more, and I've noticed that when I do, people notice that, hey, she does have a voice and she does have opinions, and some of them we don't like, but she's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations in speaking up. Feels good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And anxiety is at an all-time epidemic high, I feel right now. For children, for adults, for everybody. So you're in the right place. And what I'll share on Friday is a way to release that. It's absolutely possible to release it. My clients are doing it every day. It just takes dedication and commitment. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
How about you, Joyce?
I was going to say that I've been with you for a few years now, and you certainly have given me a much better life of a lot less pain, and a lot of things have changed in my life since we've been working together. But time does go by, and it does change, and things happen, and um, it's kind of, I'm in a position now of reinventing my life to something different after experiencing the stroke. Uh, Other things come up, and my way of being has changed, so I have to have new focusing. And I'm here today because anytime I can be in the presence of your beautiful mind and the help that you do with others, and see and hear others who have issues also, doesn't make me feel like it's just me.
Yeah.
And I just, first of all, I want to say, I know how you help, and it's an ongoing thing every single day, every hour. And I'm here to just keep getting refreshed. I can't do all the things that I or would like to do, but I do the best that I can. And despite the fact that I'm much older than any of you, I still feel I have a lot to go yet. That I want to go yet.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm here, and I'm in the process of in moving forward of seeing seeing new people for guidance, a different doctor, trying different things to find different answers. And that's it in a nutshell. You can add whatever you would like to that.
Well, I'm glad all three of you are here, and we've all done a lot of work, right? We keep committing. Yes, I've done a lot of work, but I don't know if I've ever really committed to myself as I have this year. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
You have to keep committing to yourself to say, I matter and I'm not giving up. And I mean, Joyce, I brought you to a new doctor and you were scared, right? Because, and all those beliefs like this isn't going to work, it's not going to help, it's not going to, yada, yada. We go down the rabbit hole because we have tried so many things. And you're not going to see these things on TV, right?
Right.
You're not going to see that. So it's scary. And so, yeah, so you are not alone, Joyce. There are, everybody can, 5.1 million Americans living in chronic pain. 5.1 million Americans. That to me is crazy, right? But that's the truth. So no, you're not alone. And again, my commitment is to just keep educating and putting the word out there, right? That there's another way that nobody's talking about. But we're going to talk about it this week. So my question is, why are they normalizing it? Why are they normalizing being in pain and that this is just how it is? Right? That should be everybody's question of why is this being normalized?
Because they want to make money.
Exactly. My thoughts.
Well, you're here now, right? So it
Yeah.
stops. And really like make the commitment to yourself. It stops here, right? I mean, my gosh, people gather around and what do they talk about? They talk about their pain and everything they've tried, right? And what's not working. Oh my gosh, it's like, and people don't understand that the more you talk about it, what you've tried and what's not working, you are actually manifesting more of this. And then whole families are trained. We're programming our families to be conditioned to believe that you have to have these things, right? And so, you know, you can put in the comments all the things you've tried, right? Let's see. Let's bring up another slide. And share in the comments as I'm doing this, what have you tried, right? You tried the PT, the medications, injections, surgeries, cryotherapy, acupuncture, massage. I've been told I have a bulging disc, so what I do, energy work or whatever, or thinking of my thoughts won't work, right? We've tried all of it. And the reason those things don't work is because they're only looking at the physical symptoms. There's a main reason why these aren't working and they're not sticking. They're not addressing something that most people don't want to talk about, right? Even though we all have eyes and we all have noses and we all have all these things, what's the one thing that people don't want to talk about? Anybody want to mention that?
No. No, energy, like you said, one thing, right?
Yep, energy. The other thing they don't want to talk about is your feelings.
Oh, feelings, yes.
God forbid we talk about our feelings, right? And why don't we want to talk about our feelings? Because it's uncomfortable, because it's unpleasant, because it just doesn't always feel good, right?
Well, there's some people that minimize what your feelings is, and well, you know, and it's always theirs is better, it's worse than what it, and it's a subject that I don't want to talk about, because you have to hear you it gets expressed to you that you're making up your feelings. You really don't know what it is. It's more in your mind than in your feelings.
Mhm.
Okay, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
Mhm.
But
Well,
sometimes
that's
people,
like gaslighting, like your feelings aren't
that's
valid. It's not
right.
good.
And that's a sign that we've attracted the wrong people, right? And
Yeah.
granted, if it's been 3, 5 years and we're still talking about our pain, then you know, on some level, people do get tired of hearing it, right? Which makes us feel bad, but God forbid, we're trying, right? So it's a really hard situation. But our feelings are super, super important. And what they bring up is how we feel about our pain. Like if we really think about it, because everything in your subconscious is what's going on, right? Behind the pain. That's what we need to get to. That's what we need to get to is your thoughts and beliefs of what's happening behind the pain. So if your feelings and emotions are really important, how do you really feel about your pain? Do you think that I'm getting older, so I'll be in pain? You worry about how bad it will get. Frustrated, nothing is going to get you out of pain. And kind of worried that, you'll never be pain-free. So what are your thoughts and beliefs?
Well, I think a lot of us think that it's to do with old age because certain times that I would say my hips are so sore today. Some people would say that's part of old age.
Yes. Yes, exactly, right?
Well, I
And
guess, yeah.
go
I
ahead.
for me, I think I have a pattern. Like I like panic. Like if I have a pain, then I'm like, oh God, what is this? Like it's not necessarily conscious thoughts, but I get like a lot of anxiety because I'm
Hmm.
afraid that this is the beginning of the end, or like, or it's going to be just disastrous, or it's going to prevent me from being able to do all the things that I want to do, or like I think I catastrophize the pain.
Yeah. And that's common, right?
Mhm.
And the thing is, who taught you that, right?
Well, yeah. I think it's from
Oh,
being ignored.
Ah.
Mine is like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
Mm.
It's not like it's so I
Yeah.
was accused of being a hypochondriac. So my feelings weren't valid. So I just had to make it worse in order to get the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense. Well, it makes sense to us, right? Because
Right.
we've been doing this, but to the average person, and that's why it's like so, like we just became grandparents the last 2 years, and I am so conscious. I try to be of what I'm saying to these little kids, right? That's not going to make them go off and create beliefs because you being told you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. On one level, you you knew you had pain. You knew you weren't feeling good. So what happens is over time, you start to not trust yourself.
right.
I really do have this pain,
Mhm.
right? And they're like, you're fine. So over time, it gets very confusing of what's real and what's not. You stop trusting your intuition, which we are all intuitive beings. When we ride that wave of the intuitiveness and and really believe what's right for us, that's when the pain goes away. That's when your nervous system can decompress and say, I'm safe, no matter what happens in the world. Because that's what this is about. It's crazy out there right now.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
So if you're not coming from, if you don't know how to get back into being grounded and you haven't formulated and attracted your ideal safe places, you're going to believe all that's true.
Mhm.
And it's really easy to go down that rabbit hole and to
I've
believe,
also had,
yep.
sorry, I also had a spouse that would say it's all in your head.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he tells my 15-year-old daughter when she's hurting because all through his childhood, he heard his family members, I guess, say it's all in your head. So whether my 15-year-old, she lives with me now, my other three kids are being controlled by their father. But anyways, that's another story. Um, she has went to his place for like say a weekend and she was in pain or whatever, and through the whole weekend he was always like, it's all in your head, stop faking it, you were just jumping in a mud puddle or whatever. And she's just like, because it wasn't hurting at that time, but now I overdone it and now I'm sore. But then he's like, yeah, well, it's all in your head because you wouldn't have been doing that and blah blah blah. And he's done that throughout, like I said, my whole marriage with him. not just with myself, but our children too, and other family members like his sister and stuff. And I'm just like, it's not in our head.
Yeah, right. It's not. It's absolutely not, right? So, um, what everything you're saying here is so important, because whether we heard it from our caregivers, or we were told it's all in your head, it's not that bad, get over it, we created beliefs about ourselves and about that pain. And that pain and those emotions in your subconscious are still acting out. There's a part of you that still believes it and is still, in my eyes, kind of angry
Mm.
that you went through all of that, right?
Yeah.
And so what's happening now is when you're going along your day, your body's getting triggered. So it's every time that you say yes when you really want to say no. Because, and for whatever reason, right? You don't have the time, you really don't want to do it, or you're in so much pain, you can't add one more thing on your list, right? But you said yes. And then a couple days later, you're debilitated and you can't move, right? So it's all, we have to go back and like, what was it that 2 days later, I can't move and I'm in severe pain. You were triggered by something. So I want to give you homework over the next 24 hours. Pay attention to what shows up. Well, actually, the first thing is you want to start off on a scale of 1 to 10. What's your pain level? And for those of you who have pain in different areas of your body, you may want to have a pain scale for each one, where 10 is the highest, right? So you're going to write down, you could start today. Where's your pain level? What's the intensity? And the next question is, what's my belief about it? How do I feel about this pain? What's my belief about it, and what's my emotion about it? So that's what you want to start getting in touch with, because awareness is the very first step. Okay. So I even want to share a couple people who have gone through some of this work. You may just want to put yourself on mute again.
Yeah.
So there was one client, she was living with painful plantar fasciitis and low back pain, which all comes together. Severe anxiety, and spent a lot of time worrying about things that could go wrong, right? And struggling in her business, trying to attract her ideal client. So after doing some work together, her back pain and plantar fasciitis went away. She decreased her anxiety, and she now has the tools, because she's her own business person. There's going to be fear and anxiety that shows up, right? But now you have the tools to release it. And because she's a business owner, like I've talked about money, and I know this challenge is not about money, but she immediately had a $3,000 project show up, right? These energies and these fears that we hold on to block us in so many ways that we're not aware of. So there was another client, she had chronic hip pain and neck pain, and this woman was getting 9+ migraines a month, plus taking migraine medication, which I'm like, oh my gosh, you're taking migraine medication, which is causing her to be foggy and causing her to spend a lot of time managing her pain, and she was still getting the breakthrough migraines. And she was hypervigilant at the very first moment of a migraine would be starting, always feeling scared and tense. Jennifer, just kind of like you were talking, the panic of what does this mean for me? And then afterwards, she actually went 7 days with no neck pain and no migraines. She really enjoyed not having to take her medication. And her business, she was in real estate, so her business really has taken off. But there are natural things we can do. It's not all about the medication and surgeries and all that stuff. And so awareness is the very first step. So for the next 24 hours, I really want you to pay attention to your pain levels. Oh, I have another, okay, sorry, another thing I want you to do. If you can, one of the reasons why we are in so much pain is because we're not hydrated enough. Water is extremely important to getting out of pain. When I read an article all about water, and I always knew water was important, but I didn't realize how important. This article talked about how water can get you out of pain. It can cause you to sleep better, be more flexible, and of course, all these other things, lose weight, think clearly. But I really recommended it much more to my clients. When I started asking my clients, did they drink water? I was shocked at what came back. One guy was like, nope, I don't drink water. I get up and I drink coffee from like, I don't know, 4 a.m. till maybe like 2 in the afternoon. And then he would drink vitamin water the rest of the day. And just listening to how much people are not drinking water was shocking. But watching them as they started adding in more water, their pain would get less. So even if you're drinking a decent amount of water right now, maybe try to up your water, because for every coffee you drink, if you drink alcohol, you have to add another 8 ounces of water to balance that out. So I would encourage you to up your water to half your weight in ounces in water. It really does make a difference. Here's my jug. I've really been pushing the water, and it feels good actually. So your homework is more water, focus, take a pain scale of where you are at the moment. What's your belief about your pain and what's your emotion about your pain? And then notice throughout the day, in the evening and tomorrow morning, who or what triggers your pain, and who or what also makes you feel more relaxed. You want to become aware of both so that you're going to like spend more time with the people who make you feel lighter and less pain, right? That's the goal. And not focus on the people who don't make you feel good. All right. And if anybody wants to jump into the VIP, let me know. That will be happening Friday morning. And any questions? This is time for Q&A. So feel free to unmute. Let me know what's coming up.
So I was told that I have a small gallstone. I am supposed to go for an appointment to actually see a doctor to, I guess, check on that. Is there a way that I can dissolve that without having an operation for it? If so, if they think so.
Yep. So, well, I'm getting a book, so hold on one second.
Okay.
For some reason, you're probably like, I don't know, second or third person talking about gallstones. So you need to look up. So this is a really great book. Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, every ailment, every pain has an emotional response. And she's not the only book. There are other books that talk about this.
Yeah.
But if we talk about gallstones, let's just see what she has to say.
Because I am one that does not like operations, and
Yeah,
if
I
I
don't
can
blame
avoid.
you. Yeah, I do not blame you. When I gave birth, my baby was big. And they're like, we might have to do surgery. I'm like, no, we can't do that.
Well, I
Okay,
had
so
all 4 children by C-section, so
mm, so gallstones. The emotional component to gallstones is bitterness, hard thoughts, and condemning. Does that resonate?
yep. So sorry, bitterness and what was the other ones?
Bitterness, hard
Yep.
thoughts, and condemning. So she gives you an affirmation. There is joyous release of the past. Life is sweet, and so am I. But that's why it's super important for you, especially.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have a lot going on in your life, a lot of difficult relationships.
Yep.
And that's true, right? We can't change other people, but we can change how I react to it, right?
Yeah.
And when you do this work, if you can just get to the point of saying, no matter what happens, and I know this is super hard, life is always working out for me.
Okay.
How does life get any better than this? Even when the shit hits the fan.
Okay.
The faster you cannot go down that rabbit hole, the faster you'll turn all of this around. So I'm not here to say that you may not never need the surgery, but who knows? Maybe they'll loosen up. Maybe you'll pass them. Maybe they'll move. Anything can happen.
So what
Yeah.
is it? Life is always working out for me. And then what did you say?
How does life get any better than this?
How does life get any better than this? Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just I have a friend who I think would really benefit from this, and I did not reach out to her before today's session, but I'm sitting here thinking this would be really great. Can I share this with her and she could
Yeah.
maybe join, watch today's recording and okay.
Yeah. Is she on Facebook?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to connect us, and then I can even add her to our Facebook Messenger group.
Okay.
I'll put the recording in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. I will do that with my mom too, because she could use it because she's been in a lot of pain and stuff too through a lot of years. And so I will connect her with you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Just add them. It doesn't, there's many ways to get out of pain, right? But
Yeah.
if you're only focused on the physical, it's just not going to work, and it's going to get you angry and frustrated.
Mhm.
So people can have a choice. You can keep going down that road, or you can try to look at it differently.
Yeah.
You can't bring a camel to water and make them drink it, but you can at least bring them to the water and say there's something else.
I heard that about a horse actually.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why camel just came through, but yeah, it's usually
That's
a horse.
okay. Same thing. Same thing.
How you doing, Joyce? Anything coming up?
I'm listening to it, I understand. Yeah, the way you think about things, it's made the shift in your mind to the positive, it just makes a huge difference. I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
And
huge.
it's I had a case yesterday, a conversation that was being held by a council member, the council of the church. And we were talking about some changes that need to be made, and there's others were sitting there in the room, could listen to us, because it wasn't private, but it was something that we were discussing. And somebody else popped right in and said, well, I don't see why you have to do that, you can do this and whatnot, not. And this is the same person that's aggravated me have several times. And I kept quiet, and then she said, well, and they pointed out, well, Joyce, you could do. And I said, that's it, I've had enough, and I got up and walked away. Now they're all net. Now there's something wrong with me now, so. But that's it, they can think whatever they want. But I had to get away from there because I didn't want to say anything else.
Yeah.
And I used to argue back and I used to get totally upset about it. But I walked away. And then there was like an hour later, I had another event to go to, which was not really a most pleasant event. Uh, the fire department finally closed Thornford, and we had a reunion yesterday, and I went to that, and it was a whole different joy of seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time, and so it just did a reverse.
Yeah.
But you have to walk away from it sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes walking away and keeping space between
Yes.
toxic people is the absolute best thing for your health.
Yeah. And not worry about what's going on afterwards. I mean, I'll just walk away again, that's all.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth what it does to me.
Absolutely not. You're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
We have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first.
Yes.
Nobody else is going to do it for us. Nobody else is going to stick up for you. Nobody else is going to do it.
Because nobody else knows what's inside of you.
Right. But when you
No.
start doing that, everything changes. Everything. So that's really my goal for you guys, is to really just focus on what you desire, because these toxic narcissistic people won't even bother you anymore. They won't even show up. And you'll have to get used to actually enjoying your life because you've never had to do that before. And of course, that's when your inner saboteur can pop up, but there's techniques for that too. So there's a whole other way. Ladies, this has been really great. I want to stay on time, and I want to ask you both, is it okay if I share this out to people?
Yep.
You okay with
Yep.
that? I did it so that hopefully you guys don't show up, but I can't always guarantee that these are recording the way I think they're recording. So
Okay.
No
I
problem.
like to ask. Thank you. So do
Yeah.
your homework. I know, Deb, I think you said you're not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I committed doing volunteer work at the local hospital that took care of my dad for months. So
Okay, so if you're going to be at a hospital, can I give you a recommendation?
sure.
Because some of us are very empathic. And
Yeah.
when we go into a hospital, there's a lot of sick people. So
Yep.
I highly recommend you put yourself in an energetic bubble.
I do. I love I like it's the cafe there, so I love being around that group of people.
Good.
I've done 2 times now there volunteering, and I've had retail experience before, and I was a waitress back in the day, and both times that I've worked there, they were just like, wow. They actually said it, wow, you're amazing. We did this with you. And I'm like, thank you. I had, experience with fast-paced things, and I love being here. Like, they're very positive people, and it just makes my day when I can go there and volunteer my work to actually put back into the public, and not just the public, but it raises money for the hospital that took care of my dad for months and let us, all of our, all of my dad's family, go there to spend as much time as we could with him, because we just didn't know how long he was going to be here on earth. And that's why it just makes me happy. And every Tuesday now, that is what I have committed myself to. And I've let them know a little bit of my personal life, that there will be court dates coming up and stuff like that, that I'm going to have to go to, and other appointments and stuff. And they just said, well, let us know. And maybe you could take on somebody else's day and somebody else could cover you. Just let us
Yeah.
know in ahead of time. So, I mean, like I said, it just builds up my self-esteem and makes me feel so good that they see the experience that I have and how well I do things. And another thing that kind of put a smile on my face yesterday was, I love karaoke. I love singing. I put on a karaoke event thing to raise money to help with my father's funeral cost. And now people are just like, wow, you put on a great party. When are you going to put on another one? And yesterday they asked me myself, usually I volunteer like, hey, can I sing today or whatever? And then this one lady that I've known for years, she was there yesterday and she's like, hey, you want to sing a song with us? So I'm like, sure. So I just picked a song and they played it for me. And one of the ladies also sang the song with me. So it just builds up your self-esteem like that, where, people see the things that you can do and they appreciate it and they show you in many ways. So, like I said, my life has changed a lot because of your classes and another spiritual friend here I have in Canada, not far from me. And I see more things that are more positive, but I also see the negative from my children, but I still try to stay positive. And, you know, my son, he's going through a lot right now too with, his papa dying, his uncle dying, and then I guess the negative stuff from his dad and stuff with, our marriage not being together anymore. And we both have different partners, and he's sometimes just says out of nowhere, like, it's not just your feelings. And I'm like, no, I get that, but you guys don't realize how much stuff your mom has faced and is still facing. And no matter what, I love all of you guys. You're my children, and I'm still waiting here for you. I will always be here for you. I will always love you.
Yeah.
And even though they don't believe it and certain things I say, it's just like, no, you're wrong or whatever. And I'm like, nope, I will always love you no matter what. So
Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
Well, you have a great time during your volunteering. It's great to see both of you, and I will see you back here tomorrow.
Wednesday for me.
And
Bye.
drink your
Anyway, have a good
water.
one too. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, drink that water.